Hey, I'm Megan Evans. Growing up in Chicago wasn't easy, especially in our crumbling apartment on the south side. The walls were so thin you could hear everything, and the stench of mold seemed like it was a permanent resident. But the worst part, it wasn't the apartment, it was watching my parents slip further into their drug addictions every single day. Meg, I'm hungry, my little brother Tyler would whisper, his big brown eyes wide with hope. I know, Ty. Let's see what we can find, I'd answer, rummaging through nearly bare cupboards. At just 12 years old, I was more of a mom to Tyler than our own mother ever was. Our parents, well, they were like ghosts. They floated in and out of consciousness, leaving us to fend for ourselves. Where's Mom and Dad? Tyler asked one night, clutching his worn-out stuffed bear. They're just resting, Ty. Don't worry, I'm here. The knocks on the door became routine. Child Protective Services would show up, always with their serious expressions and clipboards. Megan, honey, are your parents home? They'd ask. They're at work. I'd lie, shielding Tyler behind me. Our grandparents, Robert and Linda Evans, lived in a fancy house in the suburbs. They'd visit maybe once a year, with disapproving looks and hushed arguments. Robert, we can't just leave them like this, I overheard Grandma say once. It's not our responsibility, Linda. They made their choices, Grandpa replied coldly. Then came the night that changed everything. Flashing lights, shouting, and the sight of our parents being led away in handcuffs. Tyler clung to me, sobbing. It's okay, Ty. I've got you, I promised, even though fear gripped my heart. The next day, a social worker sat us down. Megan, Tyler, we're going to take you somewhere safe. Together, right? I asked, hoping for the best. The hesitation in the social worker's voice told me everything. Your grandparents have agreed to take Tyler, she said softly. What about Megan? Tyler's voice trembled. I'm sorry, sweetie. They feel they're too old to care for both of you. It felt like a punch to the gut. But I take care of Tyler. He needs me. I cried. I'm so sorry, Megan. We'll find you a good foster home. As we stood outside the CPS office, I hugged Tyler tightly. Be good for Grandma and Grandpa. Okay, I'll see you soon, promise. He whimpered, promise. I watched as he climbed into our grandparents' car, while I was led to a separate vehicle. The hardest thing I've ever done was pressing my hand against the window as our cars drove away in opposite directions. I silently vowed to find my way back to my little brother, no matter what it took. Life has a funny way of coming full circle. Now, at 28, I'm working as a social worker in the same system that shuffled me around like a deck of cards. Ironic, right? But at least I can use my broken childhood to help other kids. Megan, got a sec? My colleague Sarah poked her head into my cubicle. Sure, what's up? Remember the case about your brother? I stumbled across something weird in the system. My heart skipped a beat. Weird how? Sarah lowered her voice. According to the records, your grandparents legally adopted Tyler when he was 10. The world tilted on its axis. That's impossible. I would have known. I'm sorry, Meg. I thought you should know. I sat there, stunned, memories crashing over me. All those times I tried to reach out to Tyler, only to be shut down or given vague excuses. Thanks, Sarah. I need to make a call. With shaking hands, I dialed Tyler's number. Hey, little bro, how about a family dinner this weekend to celebrate your big exam results? Sure. I guess that'd be cool. You want me to ask Grandma and Grandpa? Yeah, that'd be great. It's been too long since we all got together, right? The next few days were a blur of anger and preparation. By the time Saturday rolled around, I had a plan. I was going to get answers. The dinner started off pleasant enough. Small talk, compliments on the food, the usual dance of polite conversation. But I could feel the tension building inside me like a volcano about to erupt. So, Tyler, I said, keeping my voice casual, remember when we used to talk about getting adopted? Funny how things work out, huh? Tyler looked confused. What do you mean? I saw Grandpa Robert stiffen, his fork clattering against his plate. Grandma Linda's eyes darted nervously between us. Oh, you know. I continued, heart pounding, how Grandma and Grandpa legally adopted you when you were 10. Isn't that right, Grandpa? The silence was deafening. Tyler's jaw dropped. What? No, that's not right, is it? Grandpa Robert cleared his throat. Now, Megan, I don't know where you got that idea. Cut the crap, I snapped, all pretense gone. I saw the records. You adopted Tyler and never told me. You kept us apart. Why?" Grandma Linda burst into tears. We thought it was for the best. You were always so difficult." I laughed bitterly. I was a child who lost everything, and you abandoned me. Tyler looked shell-shocked. "They told me you chose to stay in foster care, that you didn't want to live with us. And you believed them? Did you ever try to contact me yourself?" The guilt on his face was answer enough. Grandpa Robert tried to take control of the situation. "Now listen here, young lady." "No, you listen." I cut him off, my voice sharp. "I want answers. Why did you leave me in the system? Why did you lie to Tyler? Why did you keep us apart all these years?" The floodgates opened. Years of lies and manipulation spilled out. How they thought I was a bad influence on Tyler. How they worried I'd be too much trouble. How they convinced themselves that cutting me out was best for everyone. "We did what we thought was right," Grandpa Robert insisted. "Right for who?" I demanded, my voice rising. "Certainly not for me. And not for Tyler either. You robbed us of our relationship, of our chance to be a family." Tyler, who had been silent until now, finally spoke up. "I can't believe this. All these years I thought Megan didn't want me. I always wanted you, Ty. You were all I had left." The dinner dissolved into chaos. Grandma Linda sobbing, Grandpa Robert red-faced and defensive, and Tyler caught in the middle looking lost. As I drove home that night, emotions raged inside me. Anger, betrayal, grief, but also, strangely, a sense of relief. The truth was finally out. Now it was time to figure out what to do with it. After that disastrous dinner, I couldn't just let things lie. I needed the whole truth, no matter how ugly. So I did what I do best. I dug deep. "Alicia, I need your help," I said to my best friend and fellow social worker one day at lunch. "What's up, Meg? You look like you've seen a ghost." "More like I've uncovered a graveyard of family secrets. Can you help me access some records?" For weeks, we combed through financial documents, old emails, anything we could get our hands on. And what we found made my blood boil. "Holy Meg," Alicia whispered one night as we pored over some bank statements. "Look at this. Your grandparents had over $200,000 in a savings account when they refused to take you in." "What?" "They told CPS they couldn't afford to care for both of us." But that was just the beginning. We discovered they had been receiving foster care benefits for Tyler before they adopted him. Money that was supposed to go toward his care, but instead funded vacations and a new car. "I can't believe this," I muttered, scrolling through old emails. "Look at how they talked about me to Tyler. Your sister's causing trouble again. Be glad you're not living with her. Behavior problems. They were poisoning him against me this whole time." Alicia placed a hand on my shoulder. "Meg, there's something else you need to see." She pulled up company records from my grandfather's old firm. The numbers didn't add up. "He's been embezzling," Alicia said quietly, "for years. Some of it went to Tyler's college fund." I felt sick. Not only had they abandoned me, but they were criminals too. Just then, my phone buzzed. A text from Tyler. "Can we talk? I need to know the truth." We met the next day at a small coffee shop. Tyler looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Meg, I'm so sorry," he began. "I should have questioned things more. I should have reached out. It's not your fault, Ty. They manipulated both of us." "Tell me everything," he said, his voice shaking. "I need to know what really happened." So I told him. I told him about the lies, the money, everything we had uncovered. His face grew paler with each revelation. "I can't believe it," he whispered. "My whole life, it's been built on lies." "Not your whole life, Ty. We're still here. We can still be a family." As we talked, I felt a weight lifting. For the first time in years, I had my brother back. But I also had a decision to make. What was I going to do with all this information? That night, I tossed and turned, weighing my options. Could I really turn in my own grandparents? But then I thought about all the kids still stuck in the system. Kids like me who needed someone to fight for them. By morning, I knew what I had to do. It was time for the truth to come out, no matter the cost. Making that anonymous tip was the hardest thing I've ever done. But watching the fallout, that was a close second. It started with whispers around town, followed by the news reports. Local businessmen arrested for embezzlement. I saw Grandpa Robert's face plastered across the TV screen, looking older and smaller than I remembered. Tyler called me in a panic. "Meg, What's going on? The FBI was at Grandma and Grandpa's house. I know, Ty. I'm the one who tipped them off. There was a long silence, and then good. They deserve it. Through it all, Tyler stood by me. We met up almost every day, piecing together our fractured relationship. I can't believe I never knew about your foster homes, he said one day. All those times I complained about curfews. Hey, you didn't know. What matters is we're here now. As the dust settled, I threw myself into my work. All those years of pain, I used them to fight for change in the system, and people started to notice. Megan, your proposal for improving sibling connections in foster care is brilliant, my boss said one day. We're implementing it statewide. But the real healing, it came in unexpected ways. Like the day Tyler convinced me to join him at a support group for adults with childhood trauma. Hi, I'm Megan, I said, my voice shaking. And I guess I'm here because I'm finally ready to let go of the past. As I shared my story, something shifted inside me. The anger, the hurt. It was still there, but it didn't define me anymore. After the meeting, Tyler and I grabbed coffee. So I've been thinking, he said with a grin. How about a sibling road trip this summer? Just you and me, making up for lost time. I felt tears prick my eyes. I'd love that, Ty. As we walked out into the sunshine, planning our trip, I realized something. Family isn't about blood or legal documents. It's about choice. It's about love. And Tyler and I, we were choosing each other every single day. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. We had years of hurt to work through, trust to rebuild. But for the first time in my life, I felt hopeful. We were writing our own story now. And this time, we'd write it together. Megan and Tyler's journey has come to an end, but now I've got a question for you. If you were in Megan's shoes, would you have turned in your grandparents for their crimes or kept quiet to maintain family peace? What would you have done differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.